Hello and welcome to JAR City Session 1. For this lesson, you will need the following materials. You will need your volunteer guidebook, the student table tents, and the junior journal sheet for this session, and also be prepared to access the presentation for the session found at learn.ja.org. You can work with your classroom teacher to determine whether you or the teacher will be responsible for pulling up the presentation each time you visit the classroom. We recommend asking the teacher to have the presentation ready for you if possible. To aid in preparation and facilitation, you'll see in your guidebook blue text boxes which contain JA of South Dakota session-specific teaching tips, and yellow text boxes that include vocabulary terms and presentation content that's not already provided in your guidebook. For today's lesson, you will first greet the students and tell them a bit about yourself, your family, and your job. Tell students that you are a volunteer with Junior Achievement and tell them why you chose to be a volunteer in their classroom. Hand out the half sheets of paper, one per student. Instruct students to fold their paper in half the long way and write their names on the paper. These will act as student name tents and they will be reused for each lesson. I recommend collecting the name tents for either you or the classroom teacher to hold on to in between each lesson. Tell students that in this session, My Money Choices, they will be learning about how people and businesses in cities make choices with their money. The next slide features a picture of the Junior Journal worksheet for this lesson. Please let students know that they will need something to write with and hand out this worksheet and instruct students to write their names on the worksheet as they will use this during the lesson. Tell students that they will be learning about 4 choices that people have with money and how these choices affect business in a city. Ask students to describe what things cities have and what people can do in a city. Ask them to brainstorm why money might be important to a city. To get all students involved, consider asking the students to share their ideas with a shoulder partner prior to calling on a student to share with the whole class. From here, please introduce the essential question to the class. This lesson's essential question is, what choices can we make with our money in a city? The learning goal is that by the end of the lesson, students are able to demonstrate making choices about managing money and that they can recognize that banks and credit unions are safe places to save their money. As we move forward, you will see that there is a warm-up video. This slide has a music video called Money Flows featuring our new character Jade. Those who are familiar with the 3rd grade curriculum may notice that the cha-ching videos and characters have been removed as JA no longer has license to use these characters. This video will be available for all 5 sessions of the JAR City program. It is up to the volunteer's discretion as to whether you play the video during one visit or all. Please know that it does take a second to load on the screen within the presentation. From here, please tell students that money is an important part of everyone's life. Knowing what choices we have with our money is important in order to manage money well. From here, the next 2 slides showcase this session's vocabulary terms. These slides are interactive and provide an opportunity for students to come up and select each vocabulary card to reveal the definition. I recommend asking students to think about how they would define each of the terms and have them share with a shoulder partner before calling on students to reveal the definition's answer for at least some or all of the vocabulary terms. As we progress forward, the next activity is the Earn, Save, Buy, and Give activity. Instead of completing the tally chart in the Junior Journal, Junior Achievement of South Dakota recommends making this activity more interactive by assigning each corner of the classroom as one of the categories. Either this corner would be Earn, that corner is Save, the back corner is Buy, this last corner is Give. Once you have assigned these, review the locations of each category a few times with the students. Then have students stand in the middle of the classroom. Read each prompt on the slide and have students move to the corner that they think matches the situation. Ask 1 to 2 students to explain why they chose the category they did, and then tell students the correct answer and provide clarification as needed. Have students move back to the center of the classroom before moving to the next slide's prompt, and you will see those prompts in the center as you click through. As time allows, you might be able to complete the That's Life activity, and that is located on the student worksheet. Consider completing one scenario as an example, and then having students work in groups of 2 to 3 to identify the money choice and action for each scenario. Then, as a class, you can review each answer using the slideshow and have students raise their hand to say if it's earn, save, buy, or give, and identify whether money is coming into or out of the bank. To get students moving, consider having students show their answers, earn, save, buy, or give, by moving around the classroom as you did in the previous activity. After this activity, you will review the main concepts, and you can see those on the summary and review slide. Ask students to recall the 4 choices that can be made with money. Ask them to describe why it is important to deposit and save money, or consider asking them to imagine what would happen if they spent or donated all of their money. Tell students that they can keep their junior journal worksheets at the end of the lesson. Remember, either you or the teacher should collect the student name tents at the end of each lesson, since they are needed for the following lessons. And that brings us to a close of JAR City Session 1.